A lot of times we'll be in a situation and we'll say, well, God, where are you? You seem so far away. Well, the Bible tells us that Jesus is a friend that sticks closer than a brother, and also that God is a God that will never leave us or forsake us. A lot of times God will speak to us in dreams and visions, but those dreams and visions don't always come to pass when we want them to. There are different seasons in our life for different things that God's called us to do. Are dreams and visions real from God? Yes, they are. I had my first vision in the church in City View, a Baptist church, Southern Baptist Church in Fort Worth, Texas. And I was listening to the praise and worship, and I had my first vision. In this vision, I had died. I found myself sitting next to a river, kneeling down next to a river, the most beautiful river I'd ever seen, the most beautiful blue water. It sparkled like diamonds. I knelt down next to this river and there was nothing around me. Everything was barren. But then I looked across the water and saw the most beautiful meadow of green grass and trees I'd ever seen. And I looked back to where I was and there was nothing. I was naked and I never felt so alone in my life. It's like if anyone was looking, they could see everything I'd ever done in my life. But there was no one looking. And then I looked back up in the meadow and I saw Jesus standing there. As I looked into his eyes, I'd never seen so much love in my life. I quickly turned away. I'd never felt so ashamed before in my life. At that moment, I wished I'd done so many things different in my life. And then I turned back. And there were all these people standing around Jesus, and they were all wearing white robes just like Jesus was. They had their hands reaching out to me as if to say, walk across the water into heaven. But I looked at Jesus and his hands weren't reaching out toward me, and fear came over me. And then he slowly raised his hands. And I walked across the water into heaven. And as I got closer to Jesus, I began to recognize some of the people standing with Jesus. One of those people was my mother. She was standing there with her arms reached out for me. It was one of the most precious things that has ever happened to me. God spoke to me in that vision. And when I came out of that vision, I wanted to do so many things different in my life and totally serve God.